Stop. The next time you step into an elevator, I want you to look at the wall. There's a giant mirror staring back at you. You've seen it 1,000 times, in hotels, in office buildings, in shopping malls. And you probably thought to yourself, oh, they just put that there so I can check my hair. But here's the secret. Nobody ever told you. That mirror has absolutely nothing to do with how you look. It was put there to stop you from going completely insane. That mirror is actually a highly calculated psychological weapon, a piece of invisible infrastructure designed to hack your brain, distort your perception of time, and stop your primal instincts from triggering a full-blown panic attack. Think about the last time you stood in an elevator. You pressed the button, the doors closed, and then, what did you do? You looked at your phone, or you stared at the floor, or you watched the numbers change. 1, 2, 3. You felt a little uncomfortable, a little trapped, and you probably thought, I just don't like small spaces. But here's the thing. It isn't small spaces that bother you, it's time. Specifically, time that feels wasted. And this exact problem almost destroyed the entire American real estate industry. Let me give you one fact that will change how you think about this forever. In the 1950s, skyscrapers were going up everywhere. New York, Chicago, Detroit. But as the buildings got taller, every single building manager started getting the exact same complaint. The elevator is too slow. People working on the 40th floors were spending minutes just standing in these tiny metal tubes. Tenants were threatening to break their leases. So, the building owners panicked. They called the engineers and begged them, make the elevators faster. But there was a massive problem. The engineers looked at the numbers. The elevators were already at their maximum safe speed. If you pull a human being up a shaft any faster, their stomach drops and they throw up. Physics and money said the elevators couldn't go any faster. There was nothing to fix. The problem was impossible to solve. So, they stopped asking engineers, and they called a psychologist. His name was Ernest Dichter. And he realized everyone was asking the wrong question. Not, how do we make the elevator faster? But, how do we make people feel like it's faster? You see, time isn't a fixed thing. There's objective time, what the clock says, and there's subjective time, what your brain feels. Here's something your brain does that you've probably never noticed. When you're bored, time moves like cold honey. Think about sitting in a waiting room with nothing to do. 5 minutes feels like 30. But when you're distracted, time disappears. You open your phone for 1 second, and suddenly, 30 minutes are gone. Your brain isn't a clock. It's a story machine. When there's no story, no movement, and no input, your brain panics. It starts sending alerts. Something is wrong. We are trapped. We need to escape. That panic is exactly what people in elevators were feeling. They weren't moving slowly. They were bored. And bored brains lie to you. So, Dichter proposed a solution so simple, it sounded completely crazy. Put mirrors on the walls. That's it. One mirror, one change. And overnight, the complaints stopped almost completely. People actually thanked the buildings for installing faster elevators. The machinery hadn't changed at all. So, why did it work? Because that one piece of glass was quietly executing 3 brilliant psychological hacks at the exact same time. Hack number 1. When you step into an elevator with a mirror, something automatic happens. You look at yourself. Not because you're vain, you literally can't help it. It's a deep survival instinct. Your brain is always scanning for movement and threats. A reflection moving when you move, that grabs your attention every single time. You check your hair, you fix your collar, you glance at the stranger next to you. And while you're doing all of that, the floor numbers are already changing. The mirror didn't speed up the elevator. It stole your attention so time could pass without your brain noticing. But distraction was only the decoy, because the mirror was solving a second, much darker problem. Think about what an elevator actually is. It's a sealed box barely 6 feet wide with no windows and a locked door. To your primal brain, that's a cage. When humans are forced into tiny spaces, our amygdala, the fear center of the brain, triggers claustrophobia. Your heart rate rises. But when you plaster the back wall with a massive mirror, it bounces light across the room. It tricks your optic nerve into believing the space is twice as large as it actually is. The physical walls haven't moved an inch, but your brain cancels the claustrophobia alert because its eyes are saying, relax, we have plenty of room. And if that wasn't enough, there's hack number 3. Put four strangers in a tiny box facing each other, and you trigger severe social anxiety. Where do you look? Making eye contact is aggressive. Staring at the floor makes you feel vulnerable. And worst of all, you can't see what the person behind you is doing. Evolutionarily, having a stranger standing directly behind your back is a massive physical threat. The mirror solves all of it. It acts as a rearview mirror. You can monitor the strangers behind you without ever having to turn around and confront them. It gives your nervous system a profound sense of control and safety. This is psychological engineering, hiding in plain sight. The average American rides an elevator about 4 times a day. That's roughly 1,400 elevator rides every single year. Without the mirror, researchers say people would feel each ride is 2 to 3 times longer. That means millions of people, every single day, feeling frustrated, anxious, and trapped. A mirror cost maybe $30, and it eliminates a psychological crisis for every single person who steps inside. $30 for 1,400 moments of peace per person every year. So, what does this actually mean for your life? 3 things. 1. Your perception of time isn't real. It's a story your brain tells you. If you feel like your life is moving too slowly, the problem isn't your life, it's your attention. 2. Boredom isn't harmless. An unstimulated brain goes into panic mode, which is why you reach for your phone the moment you have nothing to do. Your brain isn't lazy, it's trying to survive. 3. The most powerful design decisions in the world are completely invisible. You've been walking past psychological engineering your entire life and calling it decoration. Every environment you walk into has been built to make you feel something specific. But elevator mirrors aren't even close to the strangest example of this. Have you ever noticed that no matter how exhausted you are, it is physically impossible to get truly comfortable in a hospital room? It isn't just because the mattresses are cheap, and it has nothing to do with the thin blankets. That discomfort is actually the result of a highly calculated, invisible system, an environment scientifically designed by architects to keep your nervous system in a permanent state of high alert. Click the video on the screen right now, and I'll show you the hidden psychology of hospital architecture and the slightly terrifying reason why they never want you to fully relax. See you in the next one.